I truly believe this might be one of the most beautiful ideas Dostoevsky ever wrote, and it came from his novel, The Brothers Karamazov, where he writes, "Everyone is really responsible to all men, and for everything." Now, I must say that the first time I read this book, I specifically remember underlining this particular line and thinking how absolutely ridiculous and absurd that it was. How could a single individual possibly be responsible for the things that another person does, right? How could I be responsible for the things I didn't do? If I didn't commit this crime or, tell this lie or betray this person, then my conscience is clean. And in some sense, that is true, right? But that's not the point here. And to believe and think that way is actually destructive. I think what he's really saying is something that requires a lot more responsibility on the individual. But Dostoevsky is saying, or rather Father Zosima, through Dostoevsky, is saying, you can't get off that easy. He's asking us to imagine humanity almost as a single soul, right? Where every act of kindness makes cruelty just a little less likely, and every act of cruelty makes kindness just a little bit harder. In other words, I think Dostoevsky is saying that evil isn't something that just suddenly appears out of nowhere, randomly in the world. There's responsibility to it. It's something that we all either resist or make room for. And I think that's why this idea has sat with me for so long, and why in rereading this book and going back to that line and revisiting this line, it sticks with me. Because for me at least, and I think for most of us, I think it completely changes what morality is, what it looks like. Morality isn't just about avoiding the evil yourself. It's about asking what kind of person everyone else becomes after they have encountered you. That is the responsibility of it all. That is the hardship, that is the weight, that is the cross one must bear, so to speak. Did you leave them more hopeful? Did you leave them more cynical, more forgiving, more resentful? Maybe that's what Dostoevsky meant by being responsible for someone. It's not that we are guilty of every wrong that has ever happened to someone, but that every single day, whether we notice it or not, we are helping decide what kind of world the next person has to live in. And that is a remarkably beautiful yet remarkably important responsibility, and one that, in my opinion, should not be taken lightly.